I've got a very sad story to share with you regarding crypto in the Web3 space. So let's turn down the lights, set the mood appropriate, because I know there's a lot of Ripple and XRP celebrations going on right now. But something sad happened on that same day. A final goodbye post is in the first reply. The end. Library Inc. must die. There's no escaping this. It has lost the judgment to the federal government, has several $1 million in debts, and has pledged to shut down. This will be our last post. You can't win, you pathetic life form. If you strike me down, I shall become more powerful than you could possibly imagine. Obi-Wan Kenobi said this to Darth Gensler in the SEC versus Star Wars 1, right before he was struck down by an antique weapon. Securities laws. What's happening to LBRY Inc.? LBRY Inc. has debts to the SEC, its legal team, and a private debtor that it cannot pay. Its assets, including Odyssey, are being placed into receivership. As of this post, all library executives, employees, and board members have resigned. All will be doing what is required to satisfy any outstanding legal requirements, but no more. What's happening to the library network? Fortunately, library isn't our network. It's a decentralized network. And all the code powering it is open source. But the LBRY network might die too. Decentralization isn't magic. It only works if enough people use it. Could LBRY still swallow all digital publishing like we intended? Could this be the beginning of a descent into obscurity? Who knows? It's not like we're LBRY experts. The truth is that even writing this post fills us with anxiety. Everything we say is being scrutinized by people with immense resources that aren't big fans of us, free speech, or any technology that enables dissent. And if we violate another one of the United States' incredibly clear and easy to follow laws, we might end up in jail. However, we got into the game by being honest in the cryptocurrency space when few were. Then got in trouble for being so honest. It only makes sense to go out the same way. It's our nature. There's a picture of a frog and a scorpion up on the screen. Essentially, if the scorpion kills the frog, it drowns. What's happening to Odyssey? Odyssey, the flagship LBRY app, continues to serve more than 6 million people each month, even while it has been iced. CoinGecko rates Odyssey as one of the most popular Web3 social media sites in the world. Odyssey's popularity makes it the most valuable asset at LBRY Inc. While it's nearly certain the Odyssey assets will be assumed by someone interested in resuming its growth, it's unclear if Odyssey will continue to use the LBRY network in the future, switch to another crypto network, or switch being to a traditional Web 2 platform. For the data nerds and founders, full log of our monthly and weekly Odyssey user data is here. When much of the crypto industry was burning money, we succeeded at building usable Web3 software that people actually wanted to use. What happens to the LBRY channels and content? Over 1.7 million identities and 30 million pieces of content have been published to the LBRY blockchain. As long as the LBRY chain continues to be mined, those identities and records will continue to exist. However, the content itself is not published to the blockchain and requires host nodes to function. If Odyssey chooses to stop utilizing LBRY, then content that is not actively seeded by others will stop being available. Using LBRY Desktop is the best way to ensure that your content remains available. Is the library token still a security? We're not falling for believing this question is answerable again. In our case, the judge was clear that only LBRY Inc. broke the law, and only because it kept a significant pre-mine of the LBRY token. Plus, there was the Ripple decision, and if you add those together, then, sentence redacted by legal team. Will LBRY continue its appeal against the SEC? No. Where is the LBRY community now? The LBRY Foundation runs a Discord chat and some other communities. What happens to LBRY.com, GitHub, and other assets? LBRY.com domain, library, social media handles, GitHub, and all other assets are to be used to satisfy debt. We recommend using Jack Robinson or any issues or debates, library code authenticity, as even this channel itself is technically an asset of Library Inc. So long. Our online freedom is increasingly threatened as it simultaneously become increasingly necessary. We're proud to have played a role in the effort to keep the internet free, but also remorseful to have everything play out as it did. Even harder than dealing with the federal government is the idea that we would have let people down who had faith in us. To creators, users, and investors, in that order, thank you for putting your confidence in us. We won't apologize to the government, but we're grateful and apologetic to you. Bye. So I do understand the celebration for Brad Garlinghouse and Chris Larson. But for every Ripple Labs, there's a ton of LBRYs out there that don't have the funds, that built projects and products that people did want to use. They didn't have the financial support to big communities like some of these organizations. They basically had to turn everything in to pay debts, and they're even like, we can't pay anything. It's sad because this is about decentralization. It's sad because a story like this isn't sexy, so you're not going to see a lot of news agencies cover it. It's sad because I know the algorithms aren't going to push this. Again, LBRY, not sexy. Small, for advertisers, right? Advertisers want to see eyes, right? They want eyeballs on their products. So if you put LBRY in the title of something, you get low views. Low views, low ad revenue, right? Put XRP, Ripple in the title, big views, big ad revenue. So sad news like this is probably going to slip through the cracks. And you got people that put their heart and soul into something. They were open about it too. Disclosed all this information, trying to do it the right way. And the SEC just destroyed them. One of the things that came up to me as interesting in this article was when they said, hey, look, if we don't have more blocks being made, or, if the nodes aren't, functioning, all that data is gone. The millions and millions of documents that are on there, it's gone. And, that's something I was just like, that's something we have to think about too. If there's not enough support for the ecosystems, then a lot of the projects that a lot of us are into, a lot of the art, a lot of the data, a lot of the media will just vanish. Right? If these projects are just getting pounded by the SEC and they shut down, who wants to run something that's already been just skunked by the SEC? And this isn't just the U.S. SEC. This is SECs all over the globe that are doing stuff like this. But I just wanted to take some time and to share with you a story that I thought should matter to all of us. Because even if you weren't into LBRY, you're most likely big into decentralization. You're most likely big into the government not having their claws into your stuff 24/7. So celebrate Brad, celebrate Chris. But I don't think the people of LBRY are celebrating today, tomorrow, or even next year.